Obviously, two very well-established competitive teams with a lot of experience. Gonna see if they choose anything different from what some of these other teams have been doing early on.
Absolutely. We know both of these teams, and we haven't had that very much tonight. But
Yeah.
Chrisman in the Kodiak 3 opting for the dual Gauss rifles with the machine guns, hiking them up again. Dual PPCs, dual machine gun, dual Gauss rifles. So he's going pokey with that Kodiak 3 instead of rolling the hard
The
quad
Ultra
Ultra AC10s. Yeah, so look at the high peaks on that. It's the Gauss rifles right up above the cockpit there. It's a very high peaking mech.
We'll have to see how he does compared to Croc Daddy, who also has the dual PPC, dual Gauss rifle, but does not have the machine guns bumping those up.
Panic
And now
button.
this is something we've seen a couple
Same
times
thing.
tonight. Jenner 2Cs with medium lasers.
So 228 rolling a very rangy pokey deck. We'll see whether or not they can do that effectively. Night Scorn coming up a little bit aggressively into the D4 region on Epsilon. Looks like their Kodiaks bring in those quad Ultra HC10s, so they need to get up into an effective range to use those effectively.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're coming up on the Epsilon corner. Iron Nightbird trying to get the cap on Epsilon, but getting poked away, not able to get it, taking 9% damage and escaping.
And you know what? Night Scorn hasn't gotten a shot off. Everyone for 228 sitting at 100% right now, and they are just pounding on Locan ZFG in the Jenner 2C, who's trying to scout out some positions here and just got
Philadelphia
hammered.
Collins, he's aggressively moving up the right side, but he's not really returning much fire. Here we go. We got some of those UACs going off now, doing some damage, but he's down to 79%. Very brutal approach for Philadelphia Collins, not really working too well for him. They need to get up there and start doing some work. This kind of reminds me of that
damage here.
Hell's Horses match where they just are just up top taking. Look at the percentages for Night Scorn. They can still do a lot of damage if they can get up there, but 228 is not allowing them.
228.
228's not allowing him. Panic button, dropping out with the Kodak 3, getting out of dodge. They're rotating away from Night Scorn, and we've got our first kill. One last bite, taking down Loklan.
Wow.
So
and that was that early engagement by that Jenner 2C taking a lot of damage trying to get some scouting on the 228 mechs, like I mentioned.
Absolutely. So Night Scorn has spent a lot of armor trying to get up in a position, and unfortunately all they've accomplished is taking a lot of damage and forcing 228 to just move to the next hill over. And they did that easily. They're still laying down the pokes. Night Scorn has now kind of realized that, okay, we're not going to be able to chase him down now. We're going to have to try and trade him out. But they're starting so low. I don't see what they're going to be able to do. Iron Nightbird just getting pummeled over here in the face. He's not going to be able to peek that much more. Not looking good. They are starting to get some damage into 228, but they're so far behind.
Yeah,
not
and
looking
Iron
good.
Nightbird is cord CT, and a mech just went down, actually.
They got Iron Nightbird down in the pit.
Yeah.
He gets shreds down. So I'm going to call it right here. This one is going in favor of Blackwatch unless they do something incredibly dumb. That's just the trades, the punishment. It's all they controlled the map.
Were so good for 228
Absolutely.
there.
This is almost exactly what we were seeing with Hell's Horses. And the biggest difference, I think, is we see a lot more accuracy, I think, out of 228. They're able to punish it even more, and they definitely did some work. So,
and this is the 228 we are used to seeing here. Night Scorn, I think, has had maybe a little bit of a rough start to their tournament tonight here, but 228 clearly in top form.
Jump
This is
peaks,
some great shots.
Grasshopper just vaulting over the top and getting the jump peaks, and they just are safe nowhere right now.
Yeah, and Croc Daddy and the Kodiak just went down. Now a Timberwolf went down, shot in the back. This is just getting brutal.
The Kodiak's coming through. That's all she wrote, folks. Night Scorn is going down. This looks like this might end up being an 8-0 decision. A very commanding decision for 228. They controlled the field very well. When they got finally run up on, they just moved over to the next hill, kept their distance. The Kodiak panic button was the closest to the battle. All he had to do was drop down and walk away. Any attempt for Night Scorn to try and put damage on him, he had his team. Panic button had his team watching his back, firing over his shoulder. Anything that tried to take him out got punished hard.
And look at those damages at the end. 3 mechs for 228 at 500 damage. Pisces in the Hunchback 2C, a very good competitive mech. Chrisman in the Kodiak 3, as we mentioned before, and Edmeister in the Grasshopper. Just a variety of mechs there, 500 plus damage. And on the Night Scorn side, the Blackjack and a Timberwolf doing below 100 damage, just not enough to keep up. As we mentioned in the beginning, those trades were just such in favor of 228 that it was pretty much decided in the opening minutes.
Night Scorn definitely going to have to go back to the drawing board on this one, figure out what's going on against these. I mean, it's rough basically going in and fighting two of the strongest teams in North America on the first day. Nobody likes to see that on their schedule, of course, but 228 obviously have been practicing. They had very good positioning. They knew what they were going to do. Night Scorn just got taken to task. And so they have, I guess, the rest of the qualifiers to try and figure out what's going on. Maybe they'll have a little bit easier of a schedule where they can take some time, get their stuff together, and then finish strong. But 228, commanding victory, and this one will go to them. That's a good win for them, and they're gonna keep that momentum going.
A good start. They've got a long way to go, and that's the bright side for Night Scorn. There are so many more matches to go, but if you want to start, you want to get off on the right foot, and I think 228 absolutely did that tonight.
Absolutely. So that is it for tonight. We had 6 matches. They were exciting matches, very hard fought, well played to the teams who won these. Obviously, we're going to be here for a while. We're going to be casting as many of these as possible, bringing you guys the frontline action. Really good crowd out there today. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. Hopefully, some of you guys had the opportunity to win some giveaways and stuff. I saw Darren was in the chat doing that. But thank you to PGI for forming the tournament and giving us an opportunity as community casters to come in here and cast this event for you guys. And, of course, thanks to NG&G for all their support as well. We will see you guys again down the road. Have a good night.
See you guys later.